G'day everybody! Whoa, we're getting a bit squirrely. Welcome back to another Rosh Reviews, where today we are in a 2010 Ford XR5 Turbo. And I have been waiting for quite some time again to be back in the driver's seat of one of these hot hatches, because I gotta give it, I think this is really one of those just mid-2000s glory hot hatches. Before the i30N and all these newer fun hatches that have come out, this thing was awesome. And 5-cylinder up front, turbocharged, only available in a 6-speed manual. Oh yeah, this is good. Yeah. Now this here in Australia is called an XR5 Turbo. Other places such as Europe and the UK, this is going to be called the Focus ST. And look, these were actually made in Germany, and Ford Australia, I'm not sure what deal they struck. They just got this car, and look, it's a banger. I absolutely love this thing, but they call it the XR5 Turbo because here in Australia we had the XR4, which was like a Fiesta. Then we got the XR6, the XR6 Turbo, XR8. So this being 5 cylinders, it only meant right to be the XR5 Turbo. And look, these came out from 2006 and carried all the way up until about 2011 here in Australia, and they are kind of a rare thing to see. You will see them from time to time. Look, they're not super common on the road because these cars are getting older, and the more boost you push through these, the more younger people that are driving them, there's less on the road. But I gotta tell you, this thing in a good condition state, modified right, these are so much fun and absolutely bang for buck. Oh, it is so much fun, and just the dose, the blow-off sounds, it is great. So great. Now, before we continue with this XR5 Turbo review, I do have to say a huge thank you to NextRide for loaning us out this particular XR5 Turbo. So, guys, link is in the description. This one is for sale, and NextRide is always getting really cool performance cars, which I am testing all the time. So, go give them some love. Follow them on Instagram. They did just start a TikTok as well, so I'll leave a link for them in the description also. Go give them a follow. Now, let's get under the goodness of this car with what is under the bonnet. And this has a Volvo straight 5-cylinder turbo engine. And I know, we're in a Ford, we're driving a Volvo, it's an inline 5, it's turbo. This thing's just all out of whack for, what is commonly given to cars like this, little 4-banger. And I gotta absolutely love Ford for using this Volvo engine. So they did have to get permission from Volvo, and they did a whole bunch of things, and they put this engine in this car. It's fantastic. It does have some issues, the older these things get, but I gotta tell you, the noise this thing produces, just the power band, with the turbo, they are just so punchy, they're so fun to drive, and it's healthy. Originally from factory, this car would have come out with 166 kilowatts and about 320 newton meters from this 2.5 liter. And look, you might be saying, well, that doesn't sound like all that much. It's not a huge amount, but these things, being turbo, being a 5-cylinder, you can actually put some boost through here, start getting some good numbers, because essentially this engine is exactly the same, minus a few upgraded bits that was in the godly top king of all hot hatches, Mark II Focus RS. And I have done a review of that, guys. Also, if you want to check that out, leave a link for it, or you click the pop-up banner right here. One of my favorite hot hatches ever. Now this particular one, it is not totally stock. So I will cover the mods here. We've got Focus RS wheels, we've got an RS wing on the back, we've got a Turboback X-Force exhaust system fitted to this vehicle. It's got a Plasma Man intercooler kit as well, which does make great flutter dosing noises, and yes, I like that. It is on lowering springs, and this car has been tuned by BPT. and it is making just under 250 wheel horsepower. So front wheel horsepower here. And again, you might be thinking 250 doesn't sound like much, but I'll tell you, it's still a healthy amount in this, and you don't want to get too crazy with the boost in these cars unless you've got a big enough wallet to support the rest of the engine. So it's probably a healthy amount. And look, just coming through some of these corners, woo, traction control just comes on all the time when you start hitting boost, guys. It's quite funny. This is one of those cars that a lot of reviewers used to complain about because they would say it just torque steers all over the place, it's hard to control, yada, yada, yada. For me, this is the biggest positive of this car, and it's because it does torque steer so much. It's a violent car, and when you get into boost, especially when it's been boosted, mate, you gotta hold on to this wheel because you don't know where it's gonna go, and you really gotta fight the car. You gotta get used to this thing. That is some of the fun, some of the excitement, which why enthusiasts like this car. It's because you've got to tame the beast. You flat foot this thing, you really got to hold onto the wheel, and it's hopping, it's skidding. It's just a lot of fun. Now let's just cover price for this thing, because these were actually pretty damn reasonable when they came out. So you're going to pay about 37 grand for a brand new one back in 2010, which is this particular model year. On the used market now, they fluctuate, and now, especially since after COVID, these have started to creep up again, because you used to be able to pick these things up for about $8,000 for a decent one. Now they're a lot more than that, and the $8,000, you probably could still find one for that, but you're going to need to put some money into it because it's going to be beat up, it's going to be high Ks, and you're still going to be hard to find one just alone for that kind of money. Realistically, these now are kind of sitting around that like 15 grand mark, and if you get a really nice one that's got some mods, it's been well done with lower Ks, you're going to be looking around that 20, 23, 24, pushing 25 grand for a really nice one. And look, just on the interior of this car, it's nothing to rave about. You do get leather Recaro seats, which are heated, and they hug you pretty well. They're fairly comfortable. The steering wheel is okay. You got your basic gauges. I do like how you have your turbo boost gauge up on the dash. You got oil pressure, oil temperature there. That is a nice touch. You've got this kind of faux carbon, which I believe it was factory. It's like really faux carbon, but it's a sporty, fun car. You got to enjoy it. I do like this one's got the sunroof, so that is a great option to have on one of these. Now, key points to know about these interiors is if you go for the cloth seats, there are Recaro cloths. All of these got Recaros, which is a great thing. I do believe they're all Recaros. There's cloth and there's leather. If you get the leather, the back seats actually lose the middle seat. I'm pretty sure if they're cloth, you do have a proper 5-seater, but in the leather like this one, it is just a 4-seater. So that is a little bit unfortunate. Guys, leave that in the comments if that is correct. I'm just going off memory here. Now, one thing that I do have to mention, because this is just so comical and probably my biggest pet peeve of this vehicle, is the cup holder situation, because it is just laughable. And you may as well, Ford, have not even put cup holders in this car. And there's so much space on the dash, you could have done like a fold-out one or something. Like, there's no bottles on the door side. Like, you can't fit a water bottle on the door card. You've got these two absolutely pathetic cup holders that are about half a finger deep, and they won't even hold like a regular Coke can. Like, it is a joke. And then you've actually got two other sets of cup holders in the glove box, which are even a bigger joke. So fair enough if you're parked and you and your mate are just at a drive-in or something, but far out. It's just absolutely comical. Have a look at that, especially the glove box. What were you guys thinking? Now this particular one, it doesn't seem to be popping as much as some of the other cars I have been in. And some people will like that. I really like when these things do a loud pop. It's kind of their signature sound out of these XR5s. You know, you come around this really tight hairpin, easy to heel toe. You know, it's not a rocket ship, it definitely isn't, but you can just have so much fun in this thing, and it's usable power. I say that to people all the time, like, you know, my F6 is not usable power. Like, I gotta go to the drag strip to properly use that car, and every time I run my F6, I am playing with fire. This is the beauty of one of these cars. It's the beauty of my old XR8, is that you can really go through the gears, have fun, make a racket, and you're still not going to jail. So, yeah, for me, wicked fun dailies, these cars. And, you know, even for weekenders, these things are a really fun back road car. Now, just before we continue with this video, guys, please make sure you go ahead, hit that big red subscribe button, and click the bell notifications so you do get updated on all my weekly uploads. I upload 2 times a week, guys, Wednesdays or Thursdays, and every Sunday. So we're always featuring weird, cool, unique performance cars, especially from Australia. So if you guys want to see something weird, something cool that you haven't seen on YouTube before, again, subscribe, really helps me out. Now, 0 to 100. We're just stopping here on this back road. I'm going to reset the draggy, and let's go. Yep, it's off and on power, this thing, and it is hard to hook up. Look, I think it's claimed about 6.8 seconds from factory, and I know that sounds slow. It's just trying to hook up with this car. You know, it's front wheel drive, it's got a lot of stuff happening at the front. It's a challenge. So I don't know, it still felt pretty fun. You did have to get into the 3rd gear, which is unfortunate for it, but let's see what the time was. Look, 0 to 100 was done in 7.4 seconds, and I know that's not a great time. Look, I'm gonna call it because this thing's running some boost. I don't wanna be the one responsible for when this thing breaks, and launching these cars is when something like that is gonna happen. So I'm calling it at 7.4. Look, it's claimed at 6.8. I definitely think this thing would get in the 6 seconds on a perfect launch. You know, you just got to have some practice, have a good road surface, and yeah, it's still a lot of fun though. Now I'm going to finish the video off here today, guys. So look, a huge thanks to NextRide once again for loaning us this XR5 Turbo. It's for sale. They are a great group of guys. So again, links are in the description. And what do I got to say? I love this car. I loved it the last time I got in it. It reminds me of the Mark II Focus RS, and it's a lot cheaper. It's still a lot of fun. You know, it's engaging, it's punchy. It's an XR5 Turbo. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you're new here. We will see you on that next video. Oh yeah.